their relationship is quite literally a natural disaster. Is there any hope for their marriage? Today we find out on Dr. Goodfellow. Welcome everybody to the show! I'm Dr. Goodfellow, this is the Dr. Goodfellow Show! Tonight we're going to be talking to an immortal couple who are dealing with some changeling-related marital issues. We've all been there, right folks? Okay, so without much ado about nothing, let's welcome on Titania and Oberon!
I can't believe you talked me into this!
This wasn't my idea, you know. Blame Puck.
I'd really prefer Dr. Goodfellow.
That's so typical of you, Oberon, always blaming someone else.
Oh, and you're perfect, I suppose. You know, I've been very reasonable about your dalliance with that human.
Ha! You're really gonna sit there and deny everything? Sure, it's all my fault, and you're an
Finally,
innocent
you've
victim.
said something logical.
Okay, I'm sensing some tension here. Why don't we try some patented Dr. Goodfellow breathing exercises, okay? So, on the inhale, think of everything that makes you angry. And on the exhale, I want you to think of cuddling a duck.
Oh, tramp.
Asshole.
Frailty, thy name is woman.
Worse than senseless thing.
Why don't we pick up where we left off last time? Have you resolved the issue regarding the Indian changeling?
Why, yes, I think
We have not.
I have the kid and you don't. What's to resolve? Seems fair to me.
And you wonder why we have problems.
We have problems because you can't let anything go.
His mother was my worshiper. Mine. Is that getting through to you, me having things that are mine?
I let you have your human affair. That was all yours.
Might I suggest a patented Dr. Goodfellow paternity test? In fairness, the affair wasn't entirely her fault.
You're right, it was entirely his fault.
The point is that everyone has a share of the blame. I always say, if you don't share the blame, then that's a shame.
It was just supposed to be a fun, harmless way to embarrass my wife by making her fall in love with a donkey man. How was I to know that it was going to hurt my feelings?
Oh, I'm sorry your creepy little spell didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. I'm sorry your betrayal of my trust hurt your feelings.
Doesn't it feel good to apologize? In my book, Dr. Goodfellow's 7 Strategies, 4 Steps, 3 Pathways, and 10 Board Games to Saving Your Marriage, apologizing is both a strategy, and if you count the game sorry, a game.
Titania, you left me no choice. If only you'd been able to compromise.
What
then this
compromise
whole
would
mess.
you have liked? What would you have done for me? See? Nothing. I'm not one of your little lackeys to be bossed around.
Whoa. You know, come to think of it, without my lackey, none of this would have happened.
Hey!
I hadn't thought of that, Oberon. Tell me, how attached are you to this particular minion?
I was just following orders, lady. Let's try another exercise. What would you change about each other if you could? Oberon, you go first.
Well, I think...
Let me say that changing everything is not an option.
I think this marriage would go more smoothly if she would obey me quickly without question. Is that too much to ask?
Yes.
See? She can't compromise about anything.
Titania, compromise can be a good thing, but sometimes it can be a bad thing. Have you read my book?
Shut up.
Titania, why don't you tell me what you change about Oberon?
I'd like him not to drug me.
Drugged is such a harsh word.
I'd like him not to take my stuff.
Marriage is all about sharing.
I'd like him to think about something besides himself for 5 seconds together.
1, 2, 3, 4...
And you know what?
5.
I just know you were laughing at me fawning over that half-donkey freak of nature. You stepped way over the line, and you don't even care. You don't get to play magical Machiavelli and then pretend to hurt your precious feelings. You're a lousy, lying, double-crossing jerk of a husband, and that donkey was less of an ass than you.
Good, doesn't it feel good to release that tension?
You only married me for my youth and my looks.
But we don't age.
You're just saying that.
Not at all. You literally look exactly the same as the day I met you.
Can you two remember why you got married?
It It seemed like a good idea at the time.
You'd be surprised at how often that's said about me. But ours was a marriage of true minds. She was more lovely than a summer's day, but not as temperate. There's something extraordinary in thee.
Who?
You.
Oh, thanks.
Ah, romance.
I remember how things were when we were young. But do we even have anything in common anymore? We've been married for 507 years.
508 next week.
You remembered.
Titania, I really am sorry about the donkey man. And I'm sorry about stealing the Indian changeling. And I'm especially sorry that Puck drugged you. I really do mean that.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Let me make it up to you. Why don't we take a holiday to Italy? We can visit Queen Mab.
That sounds nice. Do you remember that summer 2 centuries ago when we destroyed a village with a hailstorm? That was fun.
And it will be again. We can bring the changeling along with us.
Actually, you're both unfit guardians. I'll be calling Changeling Protection Services as soon as you leave.
You know, darling, I think we do have something in common. We both hate this marriage counselor.
You're absolutely right.
I usually am. Shall we?
Oh, I'll just be a moment.
Yes, dear.
Your hands, if we be friends.
Listen here, you green sickness carrion. I will make a quagmire of your mangled brains, and my hand will supplant your teeth if you ever interfere again. Thank you for having us on the show. Oberon!
Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. These two are a bit remiss, but still I'm pretty good at this. Next week we talk to star-crossed lovers with a less than lively relationship. All this and more on Dr. Goodfellow.